Good afternoon, everyone. I do hope you are having a good day. I'd like to provide you with Kingdom Youth Network inspiration, and our topic for today is anger. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there have experienced anger in one way, shape, or form, be it mild anger to really strong anger, which would be regarded as rage. But today, the message I'd like to extend to you today is let go of your anger. Because anger, holding on to anger, can actually create sickness in your body. It can make you more at risk of just um, catching things like colds and just being sick in general. And then as you get older, you become more susceptible or more vulnerable, and you can have things like heart attacks just because you're angry. You have all of this pent up anger within you. So, my message to you is let go of anger. Anger usually comes as a message to an individual to let you know that something is wrong. It usually comes to let you know that your boundary has been encroached upon, and somebody has stepped over a line in your life in one way or the other. And so when you are angry, that's okay. It's okay for you to be angry, but it's not okay for you to hold on to anger for an indefinite amount of time, because eventually you will actually implode. That anger will do more damage to you than the person with whom you're angry with. So when you're angry doesn't mean that you have to let go of the issue. So when somebody does wrong to you and you're angry with them, justifiably so, but you do need to let go of that anger. It doesn't change the sort of situation that surrounded what the person did to you. It doesn't make what they did right. However, what it does is that it frees up your mind so you can start looking for a solution. Sometimes action needs to be taken, but when you can let go of that anger, then you can actually approach the situation with a clear head, because anger actually clouds your judgments. So when you're really angry, you're not able to see things clearly, and there's a chance that you might overreact and then make the situation even worse than it already is. So let go of the anger, and then once you've let go of the anger, then take relevant action steps. Then if anything needs to be done, then do that. If things need to be reported, do that. Take whatever action steps need to be taken, but let go of your anger. Sometimes people are angry, they're not even aware about why they're angry. Sometimes what happens is that little things that they ignore, little things that they feel like, oh, it's nothing, I shouldn't make a fuss, but it actually makes that person angry. So what you could do as well, in order to avoid this big implosion or explosion later on in future, is when things upset you, deal with them as you go along. You don't need to speak at that present moment. Let's say you're in a relationship, for instance, and your spouse upsets you, and you might think, oh, I don't want to make a fuss, but talk to them about it. You don't need to make a big deal. It doesn't have to be like a 30-minute conversation, but you could just mention it in passing on a different day when you're no longer annoyed. Say, babe, when you did that, I didn't really like it. Could you do this next time? Because often you need to actually teach people how to treat you, and people will get it wrong. Even in relationships, people who actually love you will get it wrong. But if you've studied yourself and you know what you like, you can say, okay, could you do this next time instead of that? So deal with issues as they come up. You don't need to deal with every little issue, and you don't need to talk immediately at that point when that situation happens, because if you're angry or irritated in that moment, you could actually say the wrong thing. But in order to avoid a big explosion later on in future, it is important that you deal with issues in your life as they come up, so that they do not become this massive thing that just creates an explosion later on in life. And the person with whom you explode might have only done something very little, but what they are unaware of is that you've put little things, you kept little things in you, kept little things in you, kept little things in you, and eventually this big explosion happens, and it doesn't really match the situation, but it's because you haven't been dealing with your issues. So in order to prevent anger, I'd say deal with issues as they come along. Let go of the anger itself, but take action as it relates to the incident. Do you get me? So when you let go of the anger, you're doing yourself a favor. When you take action, then you're bringing justice to the situation for yourself and for the individual. Because when you take action, it also helps the other individual to know, okay, what you did is unacceptable. And taking action may just be a conversation, a confrontation. So let go of the anger and then take action for your own good, as well as the good of those around you. Okay, so those are my few words today as it relates to anger. Please feel free to share this video with whoever you think needs to hear it. Until next time, do stay safe. Take it easy. Bye.